Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Joining me today is Ihor Zarechnyi, CBDO at Evoplay. Ihor, thank you very much for coming on.
Hello, William. Thanks for having me today.
Before we get into previewing ICE and the upcoming launch of the company's latest flagship title, let's begin with looking back. So how would you say the scale of Evoplay's business has changed since the gaming industry last descended on the XL?
First of all, I'm going to tell this, that ICE show is one of the most important shows and exhibitions for Evoplay at all. So we looked at a lot of partnerships, a lot of partners which we want to meet with, and of course, a lot of business which we're going to do during this one and during the last ones, ICEs as well. So if we're talking about some successes during the ICE, so this is, first of all, it's about how many deals you're gonna sign during the ICE, or like in a few weeks after the ICE, how you're gonna speed up the process of business development for the whole company and so on. So for Evoplay, when we're taking step into the ICE, we're really sure that this one is gonna be boost for us for the next year, for sure, for the following year. So if we're talking about how many team players going into the ICE, if we're talking about how many meetings we had during the ICE, so this is quite a huge number for us, to be honest, if we're going to compare it with other exhibitions. And the impact to the business, of course, this is something amazing. This is the first step into exhibitions of the year. ICE in London, this is the first conference during the year. So you're going to smash it or not. So we're going to smash it one more time. We smashed it last year with a number of meetings, with a number of deals, with the new flagships and so on. So it was great. It's still great. And I'm sure it's going to be great as well, even in the different location.
And what would you say the standout partnerships and agreements were of 2023? And further to that, how would you say they've influenced Evoplay's market strategy for the coming year?
The following year, the last year was really great for us if we're talking about number of partnerships and the quality of the partners which we bring into which we share the Evoplay content with. So first of all, we started the year with Relax Gaming. So it was the start of the year. It was one of the first deals which we signed. And of course, after that, we launched a lot of partners with them, and we're really happy with that. Of course, we signed Sporting Tech as well, like one of the main LATAM platform in the whole industry. So it gives us the chance to launch a lot of LATAM partners as well. And we're feeling really strong right now, I can say, in the LATAM market for sure. Also, we had a lot of local partners from Italy, from Estonia, from whole of the Europe, and it makes us like the whole strategy for the next year. So right now we know where we're making money, where our content working, and what we're gonna do. So we're looking into expansion in Latin market. We took a step into the Canadian market as well, which is also the first step for us into the US market. And of course, some of the European local countries, local regulated countries as Portugal, as Estonia, Italy. So we're quite happy to have such partners on board.
And from a content point of view, ultimately, it is all about product. What content trends has Evoplay identified, and how do you say it's shaping the product development roadmap?
It's quite an interesting story because, right now we have two providers inside Evoplay. And first, this Evoplay portfolio. And this is the game which is outstanding on the market, which is like something modern, something new. And on the other hand, we started a new story, which is Slotopia provider. And this provider is mostly about some of the classic games like books, like sevens, like fruits, with the basic mechanic and so on. So my point of view that you gonna differentiate such as things into your business, because on one hand you will be able to make something new, something modern, something like some flagships maybe, which will be working better with your brand awareness, which will be instrument for you to attract new audience and so on. But on the other hand, you have to be stable with some of the classic products in your portfolio, which generating most of the money, which is not a secret for any one of us. So it shows us that we have to have such a differentiation in the portfolio. That's why we started the new story of one more provider. And of course, we're not forgetting about making some great things like your flagship, which we're talking about it later.
Well, let's move on to the flagship titles. It's something that Evoplay has always done as long as I've been in industry. There was Dungeon Immortal Evil a couple of years ago. There was Star Guardians the year after him. Now at Sigma, there was a 3D car racing game announced. What can you tell us about the title at this point? How does it work and what was the inspiration?
First of all, the game we're gonna call Adrenaline Rush. So it's gonna be the game where you will have, let's say, the choice of taking one of the three characters that we have inside the game. Each of these characters will have a different cars. After that, you're gonna take a chance to fight with artificial intelligence, which is quite not easy, to be honest. But during the race, you will be able to make a lot of great stuff. If you're talking about gambling part of the game, which is like making find some coins during the road, make some speed up of your wins and so on. So this game is quite a mix with gaming and iGaming products. So on one hand, you will have like a racing game when you will gonna beat artificial intelligence during the race on the different laps, on the different maps, with the different characters, with the different cars, with different powers of these cars as well. And on the other hand, you will be able to play a casino game, first of all. So you will be able to make some money with that as well, instead of only fun of making that. And of course, the inspiration is the same as it was with Star Guardians. We're trying to help our partners, casinos, platforms, to attract new audience, which is gamers, into iGaming world. And this is not secret for any one of us that gaming world is quite bigger than iGaming world, and we just have to have some instruments and tools to attract audience from there, and after that to show them that we are interested in this audience, we are interested in them, and we have something to give them to play and to have some fun, even to make some money with that as well.
And how long has the game been in development? As an industry first, I assume that there are a greater number of hurdles in the certification process.
Oh, it's also the story. So first of all, about the timelines of this game. So right now it's more than 1 year in the development stage. So during the ICE, we're gonna show it like the final product. And it's not going to be only one game, it will be the three of the games. So first one, it will be 3D race game. And based on this 3D game, it will be one more slot and one more instant game as well. So it will be the package of the games around this flagship story. And if you're talking about the hurdles in certification process, it's quite hard to say that this is some of the hurdles. It's mostly about timeline when you have to prove that this is the slot or this is the gaming product. So if you're talking about Star Guardians, for instance, we had quite a lot of conversation with the regulators and with the laboratories just to prove them that this is the slot under the whole modern graphic, choosing the character and so on. So under the game, it's classic slot, but of course you have to prove it using the RNG certificate, using the whole mass that you have under the game and so on. So it's mostly about the timeline, because you have to spend really X2, X3 times more to certify such games, comparing with the standard slot or standard instant games, because this is quite new for the industry and no one knows how to certify it, or no one knows how to accept it if you're talking about regulated side. So this is not the hurdles, this is only the timeline and how deeply you want to certify this game and how fast you want to go into the market with this game. It's only about that.
You touched before that these flagship titles are in the portfolio to reach a new audience. Specifically, what audience would you say you're looking to reach? Is it kind of a younger generation? And further to that, what are your expectations post-launch?
Yeah, it's mostly about younger generation, of course. It's mostly about gamers. It's mostly about someone who gonna change the current players in the casinos, because it's always changing in some period of time, and the players who are playing right now the casinos, they're gonna be changed with some of the other players in 10 or 20 years. And of course, who is gonna be? It's gonna be the someone who right now 15, 20 years and who will play exactly the same games, or let's say similar games that they're playing right now in gaming world, but they gonna try to find something similar in the iGaming world as well. So we're starting to change the industry. We're starting to help the industry to work with this audience right now, not in the future. And we're trying to give them the opportunity and the instruments that they will use right now and in the nearest future when the audience gonna be changed.
With the previous two flagship titles that I touched on, Dungeon Immortal Evil and Star Guardians, there's big marketing push around that. There's a lot of spend involved. How would you say they've performed relative to the rest of the portfolio? Are they kind of standout successes compared to other games in the portfolio, such as the Fruit Nova series or in the slots realm, for instance?
So I'm going to be honest with you, to be honest, William. First of all, these games were created as the differentiation of the brand, first of all. After that, it were created as the marketing tool for our partners, as I said, to attract new audience, and of course, for retention of the players that they have currently in their list of the players. So if we will compare it with one of the best games in the portfolio, like Fruit Supernova, of course, it's a quite huge difference if you're talking about money making. But as a salesman and as a sales team, we have found the way of how we can make money with such a game like Star Guardians and Dungeon as well. So this is our job at the end of the day. So let's say partners, and we are quite happy what Star Guardians and Dungeon Immortal Evil made and making right now. And with Adrenaline Rush, we're gonna take the same impact that we did with the previous ones, but right now we understand not only how to use these games as a marketing for marketing purposes, but also for GGR growth purposes, for other bet some purposes and so on. So right now we're gonna use this experience from previous flagships into this one, and to be honest, I'm waiting for huge numbers with these games.
So it's not just, correct me if I'm wrong, so it's not just about the performance of the games. Of course you want them to perform, but it's about that point of differentiation from other suppliers. It's about the brand awareness. It is very much a selling point and a point of differentiation from other suppliers as much as it is a game to sell.
Yeah, you're totally right. To have some of the differentiation like Star Guardians, Adrenaline Rush in your portfolio gives you an opportunity to to give an understanding for your partners that you are not regular slot provider who making only slots and so on. It gives them the opportunity to understand your whole philosophy around the business. So it's not only about making money, it's not only about making content and so on. It's also about making some impact into the industry as well and changing something in the industry. This is something which we're looking for, and this is something which we're doing right now, to be honest. And of course, it's really important to make money with the games in your portfolio, of course. But it's also quite a good story for your brand awareness and for your partners as well. to have such a differentiation in your portfolio because, as I said before, it's going to show the impact into the industry. So everyone wants to change something, but not all of them are doing that.
Presumably, it's going to be the product that's going to be kind of showcased the most at ICE. But as a final one to you, what are your expectations for the event, and what else will Evoplay be showcasing at the event?
First of all, like you said, it's going to be the flagship, which we will release during the ICE. And of course, during the last ICE in London, we're going to make a lot of partnerships. We're going to see the partners worldwide, from US, from UK, from different parts of the world. At the last time in London, make some, parties, make some dinners, make some business with them, see each other, because we have quite a lot of partners which are going only to the ICE and only to the London. And this is like only one way how we can see them during the year, to be honest, because all of the other time we're just communicating using Skype and email. So this is also a good place for us to meet people which we will not meet in the nearest future. And of course, for this ICE, we're taking, let's say, really a lot of people from our team, which are gonna make, I can say just like record amount of meetings and record amount of deals at the beginning of the year, to be honest, because it's gonna make the whole boost for the next year. So just 6 and 8 February, these 3 days gonna make boost for the whole year for Evoplay for sure. So we're waiting for the huge one.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Ihor. Thank you for coming on the podcast, and I look forward to meeting you at ICE in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, William.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel somewhere here.